Chapter 1. Flat Tire. Mitch Middletree pulled his car to a stop as the last bit of air left his front right tire. He looked at his wife and then at his two daughters in the rearview mirror. Whew, you girls okay? Everyone was fine apart from being tired and annoyed. The Middletrees had been driving for the past 10 hours, and now, with less than a mile to go, they had a flat tire. Maggie smiled at her husband. Why don't you call the academy? The girls and I can inspect the tire. Grace and Ruth stumbled out of the car as books, pillows, and the remains of their fast food lunch tumbled out behind them. Whoa, said Grace. Where are we? The two girls climbed on the back bumper of their car to get a better look. They saw nothing but corn in every direction. Miles and miles of endless cornfields. It looks like we're lost at sea, said Ruth. The wind was blowing through the fields, causing the stalks to rise and fall like waves. The tops and tassels flowed together like water on the surface of the sea. Oi, matey, we're lost at sea, said Grace, trying to sound like a pirate. But wait, looky there. She pointed toward the horizon at the end of the road. Land ho! Straight ahead, rising from the endless fields of corn, was an island of trees. Giant, towering oak trees. That's it, said Ruth. That's the Wonderwood Academy. Come on, girls, said Maggie. We'll never get to our destination if you don't help me check out this tire. Maggie reached in her purse and pulled out a small gadget and started to scan the vehicle. It registered the first of several positive responses. Professor Maggie Middletree was scanning the car with a device that looked a lot like a phone. But what she actually held in her hand was a $20,000 NASA-issued space computer capable of calculating a flight path to the moon. Surface temperature is well within range, said Maggie. And so is the tread density. And the rotation balance looks good too. Professor Middletree pulled the mini-computer from the surface of the tire. Grace, Ruth, any thoughts on what caused this flat tire? Well, it doesn't appear to be the result of normal wear and tear, said Ruth. Grace nodded. Mom, I'm thinking this flat was caused by a puncture. Something must have poked a hole in our tire. Mitch walked around to the front of the car and joined his wife and two daughters. I spoke with a woman at the academy. They're sending someone to fix our tire. She said it would only be a few minutes. Maggie's mini-computer sounded again, this time producing a negative warning tone. The device was programmed to monitor the health and vital signs of each member of their family. Hang on, guys. There's something going on with one of you, said Maggie. She opened up the app and started reviewing the data, starting with her husband's. Honey, your blood pressure is a little high, but the rest of your numbers look good. She flipped the screen to check on her two daughters. Ruth, you look good too. So, Grace, what's up with you? She pulled up the screen with Grace's vital signs, and the phone produced another. The screen read, Grace Middletree, age 10, heart rate highly elevated, 130 beats per minute. Body temperature 99.1 degrees Fahrenheit. Oxygen level 100%. Warning, pain level 9.2. Grace, how could you be in so much pain and not say anything? Grace bent over, trying not to cry. I didn't want to say anything because I knew we were almost there. Mitch put his hand on Grace's shoulder. What's wrong? Is it your appendix? Grace groaned and pointed toward the car. There, on the pavement next to the back tire, was an empty paper cup with the words, Mega Super Gulp, 32 ounces, printed on the side. Grace opened her mouth and let out a large burp. Mega Super Gulp lemonade, she said. I got a refill after lunch. Ruth picked up the cup from the ground. 32 ounces. How much liquid can your stomach hold? Grace Ann Middletree, you need a bathroom, said Maggie, pulling out a package of tissues. She pointed toward the cornfield. Just make sure you go in far enough so we don't have to witness the crime. Grace looked at her mom, hoping for another solution. There wasn't one. She took the tissues and walked into the cornfield as her flip-flops sank into the mud. Urgh. Dr. Mitch Middletree pulled out a pencil and a small black notebook. He was a gifted scholar like his wife, but he had this embarrassing habit of turning almost every family event into a story, script, or poem. Ruth, how would you spell the sound a flat tire makes? Would it be flump? F-L-U-M-P, like flump, flump, flump? Ruth covered her face in disbelief. Dad, I don't think this is the time to be writing one of your stories. Mitch pulled Ruth's hands from her face. My fair maiden, why doth thou now so violently contest? Won't you join me on this noble quest? Maggie shook her head. Come on, guys, stop with the drama. We need to figure out what causes flat tire. She put down her mini computer and ran her hand over the surface of the tire. Here we go. Her hand stopped on 3 small bumps. Mitch, do we have a pair of needle-nose pliers in the car? Mitch walked back to the trunk, opened a small toolbox, and produced a pair of pliers. Here you go. Maggie started the extraction procedure, clamping down hard on the head of the first bump and pulled. Here's the first one, she said. Give me a minute and I'll pull out the other 2. What are they? Asked Ruth. They look like homemade nails. Mitch brought out a magnifying glass and inspected the 3 small spikes. Definitely made by hand, said Mitch. They look like someone pounded the heads flat with a hammer and then sharpened the tips with a hand file. What are those marks? Asked Maggie as she pointed at the head of each nail. It looks like each one has a letter on it. Mitch brought the magnifying glass in closer. Looks like this one has the letter S stamped on it. And this one, the letter C. And this third one here has the letter T. Ruth looked at her mom and dad in shock. Whoa. I don't know what you guys are thinking, but I'm beginning to think this flat tire was no accident.